Viewers, our top story at 9 this Saturday evening, Tagore's Bengal. We speak about Tagore's Bengal, the cradle of artistic excellence in India and art in all its forms, literature, poetry, cinema. But it's also now at the center of a massive political storm over the movie The Bengal Files, a movie that claims to depict the true incidents that led to one of the most violent chapters in Bengal's political history, the Direct Action Day. But it seems the movie's filmmaker, Vivek Agnihotri, has come out with massive allegations saying the trailer of his film was stopped, with TMC, in fact, saying that this was nothing but propaganda, even though the filmmaker says he had all the requisite permissions in place. BJP has hit at the Trinamool, saying, despite these permissions, why was the trailer stopped? Why was it not allowed? Because the BJP says this is Trinamool's effort to silence those who depict Bengal's bloody history. The question that this raises, the intersection of freedom of speech and expression in Bengal's political landscape. Is cinema caught in the political crossfire? We get you that two sides of this argument. But first up, let's start with what exactly the filmmaker and his team are saying about why the disruption and why they feel this is nothing but political protest against the movie and its message.
Why am I being tortured here? My trailer, you know that my trailer was supposed to be launched yesterday in one of the largest multiplex chains. And as soon as I landed in Kolkata, I got to know, we had written permissions. I got to know that the multiplex doesn't want to host us because they said there are a lot of political pressure and there'll be a political turmoil if we do that. Then I contacted the second multiplex. They also said the same thing. Sir, sorry, we cannot show it because there'll be political turmoil. What kind of political turmoil it will be? Official members of the ruling party, they are filing FIRs against me. Why are they filing FIRs against me?
किसी भी एक्टर को, किसी भी फिल्म मेकर को एक रिस्पेक्ट देना स्टेट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है और ये आज से नहीं, ये सदियों से चलता रहा है. जो राजा होता था वो हमेशा सारे एक्टर्स जो परफॉर्मर्स होते थे, जो ललित कलाओं में जो डैबल करते थे, वो उनकी तरफ देखते थे, वो उनको प्रोत्साहित करते थे. इस स्टेट में देखिए क्या हो रहा है. इज दिस एनी फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन? As actors, as filmmakers, we are not being able to screen what we've made. इतना क्या threat लग रहा है उनको एक फिल्म से लेके? This is absolutely incorrect. मतलब ऐसी चीज तो भैया कश्मीर में भी नहीं हुई. हम तो कश्मीर में भी जाके शूट करके आए थे. तो क्या मतलब कहते हुए भी लग रहा है that कश्मीर की हालत शायद बंगाल से बेहतर है? क्या ऐसा हम लोग अभी डिराइव करें?
आपको तो अनवांटेड, एकदम मरीज सेरुलो जैसा अनवांटेड अनाउंस करके ये बंगाल से निकाल देना चाहिए था. लेकिन ये डेमोक्रेटिक स्टेट है, डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट है. हम लोग ऐसा डिमांड भी नहीं करूंगा. लेकिन और आपका वो जो नोटांकी आप कर रहे हो वो होटल में, वो क्या है, कौन किया है, उसके साथ हमारा कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है. हम उसके कोई कमेंट नहीं करेंगे. लेकिन आपका ये बंगाल फाइल्स के नाम पे भाजपा का कैंपेन, बंगाल ये नहीं मानेगा.
टोटल एनर्की, टोटल एब्सेंस ऑफ लॉ एंड ऑर्डर. पश्चिम बंगाल को एक इस्लामिक रिपब्लिक बनाने के लिए जो करना चाहिए वही कर रहे हैं पश्चिम बंगाल की मुख्यमंत्री ममता बनर्जी. और यहाँ का सारे मुसलमान भाई को ये एक बार चिंतन करना चाहिए. आज पश्चिम बंगाल में पिछले 3 साल में जो लोग मारे गए उसमें 90% जो है वो मुसलमान है. मर रहे मुसलमान, मार रहे मुसलमान, यही पश्चिम बंगाल का स्थिति है. अभी बंगाल फाइल्स का मतलब क्या है? हमने सुना है जो 1946 16 अगस्त जो ग्रेट कैलकाटा किलिंग हुआ था, सुराबर्दी का रोल उसमें क्या था, क्या जिन्ना का रोल था, दिनेश कांग्रेस लीडरशिप का क्या रोल था, इसका बारे में उस पर चर्चा है. इसके लिए चर्चा हो रहा है. तो तृणमूल कांग्रेस इस इतिहास को मिटा देना चाहते हैं.
All right, viewers, you heard all the important sound bites here. Essentially, the two sides that are there as far as this big debate is concerned. It's not about Hindus, it's not about Muslims. This is about art and this is about history, historical facts and artistic freedom to portray this. That's all there is as far as this issue is concerned. Let's get in the two sides that are debating on this. From the BJP, we have Dr. Shatarupa, who's a spokesperson, and we have Anirban Banerjee, who's a political analyst aligned to the ideology of the Trinamool, joining us on the broadcast. And in fact, Mr. Banerjee, let me start with you. The allegation that has been leveled by the filmmaker was, and it continues to be, is that he had all the requisite permissions. So why is it that the trailer was stopped? And that is what many are asking, that it is about freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Is that being stopped?
First of all, I do not consider Vivek Agnihotri to be a filmmaker. He is a liar and he's a propagandist. And he works for the BJP to try and build up an anti-Bengal narrative. He has done this series of files, all a crap of garbage. We have seen in the Kerala files.
Let's try and exercise some restraint, Mr. Banerjee. You are on national TV. Let's exercise some restraint, sir.
No, it doesn't matter. There can be no restraint for an anti-Bengali, a Bengali hater. That is Vivek Agnihotri. There can be no restraint for him. That is roaming free in West Bengal is something we have to tolerate. This is a democratic country. He can do that. But that doesn't mean I'm going to pull my punches.
It's a democratic country, right? He can exercise his freedom of expression, right? You don't like the movie, don't watch it?
He can express anything he wants, but that does not mean he has a free hand to distort history to serve his masters in the BJP. We do not care about what he wants to make or do when he is addressing the BJP or his own political, serving his own political agenda. But when it is about Bengal, our motherland, when it is about the history of our state and something he wants to distort according to his own will, we will protest.
Okay. So history is being distorted is your big allegation, and the second being that this is being pushed ahead by the BJP.
In that case, this is not about the Trinamool
I'll come back. I'll ask about what exactly are the specific historical facts that you feel have been distorted, and because that you will know only if you've seen the movie. But let me then get in a word from Dr. Shatarupa, respond to the other charge that Anirban has leveled, which is that this is BJP's propaganda that is being pushed ahead by Vivek Agnihotri.
Gauri, Anirban characteristically is somebody who gets into this kind of rage, whether it is Dr. Shama Prasad Mukherjee, whether it is the Prime Minister of India. Now he's even hating a filmmaker out of all people. He gets into these. I mean, this is the kind of way he takes full advantage of democracy. Now, Gauri, as far as blaming BJP for this is concerned, I think is completely bizarre. Vivek Agnihotri is a very well-known filmmaker who has made a lot of films, a lot of issues, and I don't think that it is fair to label a filmmaker with a particular party, and whether he is a Bengali hater or whether he is distorting facts is something you very rightly pointed out. It can be only seen if once we see the film. Now, after a film can only reach for public distribution in India, the only way it can reach is after being sanctioned by the Censor Board of India, which Bengal Files has. So I don't see any logic of any government trying to stop its screening, and it is not even the full screening, it is the
launch of the trailer. It's the trailer launch that's being stopped.
Now, as far as I know, whatever has been told by Vivek Agnihotri in various interviews that he's given all over India, I think he even went abroad, this film talks about something that happened on the 16th of August, which is why I think he was trying to do a trailer today, on what happened in 1946, 16th August, which is a historically known fact, of course, deliberately being erased from history by Congress, CPM, and now Trinamool and its cronies like Anirban Banerjee. 16th August was Direct Action Day, and there is an avid amount of historical documents saying that Suravardi had declared it a Direct Action Day where there was a planned genocide of Hindus.
Okay.
And
let's get a word from Anirban on just that.
Just give me a line, please. Gopal Pantha, as he was called, he went around saving the Hindus. I think This is what the film is all about. So where is the distortion of history and where is the Bengali hater and all coming out is simply beyond me. It's something that happened. He's going to film it. He's giving a film version.
So there are two aspects to it: filmmaking or the craft of filmmaking, and whether Vivek Agnihotri is actually adept at that is a separate issue altogether. You don't like his craft, you don't watch his movie. I think that's fairly simple. If you don't think that he's a good filmmaker, you can obviously choose to not or ignore any of his films. That's a very fair way of looking at it. Or that normally what people would do is, because at the end of the day, filmmaking is a craft. But the other point, Anirban, which I want to come to and ask you is that you said that there is distortion of facts in this movie. What, according to you, are the facts that have been distorted in the Bengal Files?
First of all, we have this kind of a thing. It was mentioned that more than 30,000 people, women from Kerala had gone and joined the ISIS and all these things. And when there was a case filed in the High Court, Kerala High Court, the number suddenly came down to 3. So we have seen that people like Vivek Agnihotri, who are part of the RSS BJP camp propaganda team, they willfully lie to the people about a state. See, I would have no problems if Vivek Agnihotri would have stood for the BJP against the Trinamool or the Congress or some other party. The fight between political parties is something that is part of democracy. We have no problems with that. But what he does is label a state, people of those states, in a way that is extremely derogatory for them. He names his movies as Kashmir Files, Kerala Files, Kerala Story, Bengal Files. The people of Bengal are not something that you can paint in a color of your own brush. These people are trying to showcase the 16th January 1946 event as something that there was a Hindu massacre that took place. But the reality is that there was a complex situation where on one side, Hindus and Muslims stayed strong together against the rioters. And those rioters were from both communities. And people who wanted peace, who wanted to stop the riots, they were also from both communities. Political parties, some stood against the rioters, some stood for the rioters.
Your version of history, I'm not even talking about whether it's correct or incorrect. I'm saying, how do you know for a fact that the version of history that you are talking about has not been depicted in the movie? Have you seen it?
Because the statements made by Vivek Agnihotri and some of the other BJP people and people from their ecosystem had already prepared the ground.
Okay, that audio line I'm going to
of this movie, and those statements point towards one direction. Sorry?
Go ahead, finish your point, sir.
Yeah, and those statements only point towards one direction, that there was a Hindu massacre that was done by quote-unquote Suravarti and Muslim League, etc., etc. But do they speak about the point that Shama Prasad Mukherjee, one of the revered leaders, was part of the Muslim League government? He was in the cabinet. They blame.
No, that's wrong.
Okay, Shatrupa wants to counter what all you've been saying. Let's get in a word from her. Yeah.
No, Gauri, first of all, Anirban very confidently gives a complete warped version of history. I don't even want to argue about that. I just want to stick to the facts of the film here, what has happened today in Bengal. If you're very correctly pointing out that you have to see the film, either agree with it or don't agree with it, and then don't go back for another rescreening of that. Fine. Now, today is not the first time that a film is being banned in Bengal, mind you. Mithun Chakravarti's film was not allowed to be screened on any major multiplex and even the prestigious Nandan the screen. Because, why? Because Mithun Chakravarti is with BJP. Now, this is where a film, art, games, sports, these need to be kept away from politics. I just want to bring in something which is not really related. Today, There was a football match in Mednipur. A Trinamool crony's nephew goes and kicks the referee. Why? Because he doesn't agree with the referee's decision of a football match. This is the state of Bengal now. You were showing our state president has made a comment that there is complete political anarchy. There is not even a breakdown
Okay.
of law and order.
All right,
Everything
so
goes
moving
as
on-
per Trinamool or not at all.
Okay, so the movie has been cleared by the censor board. The
Yes.
trailer is yet to be launched in Bengal. Anirban, you haven't seen the movie, you don't know what version. If you think it's not the correct version of history that hasn't been depicted by the movie, you don't know whether that is or that isn't the case. Why is it that cinema is now caught in the political crossfire between BJP and Trinamool? That's what it is.
As I told you that the history of Vivek Agnihotri as this files maker, I do not want to even mention his B-grade derogatory movies, derogatory for women.
Arey, don't watch his movies. If he may be B grade, C grade, whatever. Don't watch. If it's a bad movie, nobody watches
Okay.
bad
No,
movies.
it's not just about being a bad movie. There are new bad movies nobody cares about. But when you are willfully lying
Okay.
and you say that it is not just about movie or craft anymore. When he mentioned that there were more than 30,000 women from Kerala converted to Islam and ISIS, where did he get
That's
those
about
data
a separate
from?
movie.
It was only after
That's a separate movie. You are making a case about
that he had
Vivek
to come down on
Agnihotri in terms of sweeping generalizations, just like what you are pointing out, that
His
the movie
track
makes
record-
sweeping generalizations by the titles that it keeps. Okay, all right. So at the end of the day, the fact is you cannot distort history. History has only one version, which is the factual version. And the only argument that should be is whether the movie sticks to that or not, whether there is creative liberty being taken. If that is the case, that should be raised at appropriate forums, and rather, instead of that, what you are seeing right now in Bengal is that the movie's trailer has been stopped. I'm going to leave it there, and in fact, hopefully, we'll get to know what happens going forward in terms of whether or not freedom of expression, art, in the cradle of artistic expression, which is Tagore's Bengal, is allowed or not.